The Arias trial. The question is, what will the graphic crime scene photos and autopsy photos as well have on these jurors? How can they be objective? And Lisa, the second part of that question is, will we likely see her on the stand?
I think no. And I'll tell you, that's because she lied a couple times about what happened. And it's hard to imagine that they're going to actually put her on the stand and subject her to cross-examination by a prosecutor who's going to shove all of those lies down her throat. So I'm sure her attorney's going to say no. If she wants to, it's her right. She can get up there, and she'll definitely be convicted if that happens.
And Darren, is the grisly nature and the horrible photos going to likely play into the jury's decision-making?
Yeah, you can't unsee those things once you've seen them. It's powerful evidence. Prosecutors love them. Defense lawyers hate them. It's highly likely it will be influential. And I absolutely agree with Lisa on this one. It would be a horrific move for her to take the witness stand. You generally only want to do so if there's some essential element that only the defendant can speak to. But of course, she's got the absolute right to do so. And if she really is as crazy as everybody thinks, you may just see her up there on that stand.
And Michelle, you're a jury consultant. I imagine when a jury sees these sorts of grisly, horrible crimes, they want justice. They want to take out their retribution on somebody. So do you advise defense attorneys? Is it matter just who's sitting in those seats? Is that the bottom line here? How does that work?
Well, it's interesting with human psychology. Of course, they're going to be incredibly affected by these photos, but they habituate to them. So if they're going to see them, as a defense attorney, I want them to see, well, I'm not, but if I were advising a defense attorney, I'd want them to see them over and over and over again because they habituate to it. And I've worked on, as you know, lots of crazy murder cases, and that's what I say. Hey, if they're going to see it, let's overshow it, because they do eventually get used to it, and it doesn't have the impact.
So it's not as bad after repeated exposures. But Michelle, let's ask this one quick question. What do you postulate, what do you suspect could make somebody snap like this?
Oh,
was
dear.
it premeditated and she's just a psychopath and she was getting retribution for this guy cheating? Or did they get into an altercation where suddenly we have her violent?
It's worse than that. She was a stalker. She was an absolute stalker. She presented like a typical female stalker. The obsessive thoughts. You know, she tied up her identity with this relationship. As soon as there was any infidelity, she responded with rage. And that's what we see, this kind of irrational thinking. And on top of that, she now looks like she's an absolute psychopath. And I don't normally see that presented that way. I mean, obviously, stalkers, you know, have a similar pattern to one another, and she fit perfectly into that. And now I'm looking at her just like a regular murderer I deal with.